Hi, everyone, and a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. I am Tony Abatey. Thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV as we are back at the volleyball arena again, this time in Independence, Kansas, as the Fort Scott Lady Tigers get set to face Independence and later on Chanute this evening here in another tri-match here at Independence High School. So thanks for joining us here this evening as, again, Fort Scott just about ready to get things underway in the first match of things here tonight. And they'll be right in front of us. We've got a good view right here on the next to the court. Also keeping an eye on things going on in Baltimore right now. Things looking good for Royals fans in Baltimore right now. Hopefully that continues late in that one. But we're ready to get some volleyball underway here this evening as, again, the Fort Scott Tigers take on the Independence Lady Bulldogs.
So are you going to be big enough to block balls from us? Oh, I'm a very slim guy inside. But thanks for thinking I could. Hey, you know.
We're just about ready to get things underway here this evening as the Fort Scott Lady Tigers look to get in the win column in league play here tonight. They come in at 0-4 in the SEK, 2-16 overall. Independence 2-2 in the SEK, 12-6 overall, and later on tonight against Chanute, who was 4-0 in the SEK and 12-6 overall. These three teams here in Independence tonight. The other SEK League tri-match is Coffeyville, Parsons, and Pittsburgh. They're all in Parsons tonight. And Lady Tigers getting ready to serve to open this one here tonight. And we are underway. A long dig that time, and fortunately that hit the middle of the court there on Fort Scott's side. So tough luck start for the Lady Tigers. Going back to serve, looks like Emma Meekum for Independence. Fort Scott brings it to the near side and hits it just a little bit too wide, so it's quickly 2-0 here in this match tonight. Get that scoreboard updated for you here in just a moment. Independence works it far side, a little tap over the net, and that'll work for another Lady Bulldog kill here early on. So it is now 3-0 in favor of the Lady Bulldogs here in the opening frame tonight. Nice dig by Fort Scott. They'll keep it alive. Now Independence keeping this rally going. Nice dig by the Lady Tigers. They work it near side. Over there to Avery Stewart. And she'll get the first Fort Scott kill here this evening. So Avery, after picking up the kill, she'll go back and serve for Fort Scott. Getting just underway here in set number one. Off the Fort Scott block. Avery able to keep it alive. And Kendall Aiken gets it over the net. Nice dig by Fort Scott along the back row. Come near side. And whoop.
That's right.
That'll find the line inbounds for Independence. So 4-1 here in set number one. Fort Scott trails the Lady Bulldogs. Independence serving once again. Fort Scott gets it to Hazel Baker. She sets up Kinley Clements, but it's dug by Independence. They'll keep this rally alive. Nice dig by Cowan on the back row. strong rallies here to start this one. That one off of the Independence block and up into the stanchion. And it'll go as a Fort Scott point here, 4-2 in set number 1. Another kill for Independence. And nice kill by Fort Scott. Get back in this one just a little bit. 5-3 now. Comes near side. They get it to Clements, and swing is a little bit too long for Kinley that time. So 6-3. Here's your score here in set number 1. Nice dig. Fort Scott getting better with their passes as the season goes along. And that one finds its way in there for the Lady Bulldogs, so 7-3 now here in set 1. And that one, I think, was deflected off of Fort Scott before it went out of bounds. Fort Scott gets the point there. Nice swing by the Lady Tigers, and it is Kinley Clements back to serve once again. Independence able to keep it alive, and that one finds the corner for the Lady Tigers. So quickly 8-5 now. Clements serving again. And that one off of the return chance. And goes back over to the Lady Bulldogs. That one off of the Independence block, but kept alive by Fort Scott. Can they keep it going? Can't quite get to it. So 10-5 now. Set the middle. It's off the Fort Scott block, but kept alive by the Lady Tigers. They'll work it near side now. Nice job to get it to Avery Stewart. Back across the net. Indy keeps it alive. They'll go far side with it. Nice block by the Lady Tigers. Kept alive by Independence. They'll try to set that block up again. That went off the block, but nice dig on the backside by Cowan, and then Fort Scott able to get the point. Looked like maybe some miscommunication there on the back row for Independence. Fort Scott able to get the point there, and now Allie Calishaw back to serve for the Lady Tigers. One off the block once again. Fort Scott trying to set that block a little bit higher tonight than they have the past few matches. That one kept alive. Nice job by Fort Scott to keep it going. Over to Independence. And they'll get the kill. It's now 11-6. And some miscommunication there, unfortunately, for the Lady Tigers. makes it 12-6. Independence will come near side with the serve. Fort Scott gets it to Stewart. She'll get it over the net. That one gets over the net, and they'll say it was outside of the antennas, so the point goes over to Independence. Nice little run for the Lady Bulldogs here in the middle of the frame. And Fort Scott's going to take a timeout. So Lady Tigers take their first timeout. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. So out of the timeout, it'll be Independence serving. Fort Scott gets it to Kylie Comstock, but hit that one just a little bit too long that time. And now Independence continues their run up 15-6. Scott picks up the kill, so they're back on the service line now. Looks like Kendall Aiken back there to do the honors for the Lady Tigers. Long dig that time, but they get it over to Comstock, and she's able to pick up the kill. That one just over the net, and that works out perfectly for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. That one off the Fort Scott block and out of bounds, so goes back over at Independence now, 16-9. You're getting late in the first set. This one is coming our way, and it's going to go out of bounds. Served out of bounds by the Lady Bulldogs. So Fort Scott gets another opportunity here. Avery Stewart back to serve again. Avery on the back row right now with Braylee Cowan. And Stewart, I believe, is on the back row right now as well for Fort Scott. Aiken, Comstock, and Clements all on the front row, and that one was off the Fort Scott blocking out of bounds. Fort Scott will come near side. Couldn't quite get it over the net that time. So 18-10. Independence leads here in set number one. And that one served out of bounds. They tried to go the front corner, and it goes out of bounds. The Lady Tigers will get a quick sub here as Allie Kalishaw will check in for Kylie Comstock. And also get Grayson Pitts back in the match. She will replace Avery Stewart for the time being. And now Rayleigh Cowan to serve for the Lady Tigers, and that one served a little bit too long. So 19-11 now. Fort Scott trails. And that one will be in there for Independence, so they get to 20 points first. It's now 20-11. And now I believe Fort Scott's taking another timeout, their other timeout here in set number 1. Try to stop this momentum as quickly as they can here. Fort Scott again coming into this one at 2-16 overall, 0-4 in the SEK. Independence 2-2 in the SEK, 12-6 overall. Both teams in the 4A East Sub-State once again, as those assignments were released earlier this week, or late last week, or the last few days that's been released. Right now in 4A East, Hayden, who's dropped back to, or raised back up, they were 3A last year, back up to 4A this year. Topeka Hayden, they're number 1 in the East, no real surprise there at 22-2 overall. Rock Creek, who has become a force to be reckoned with in 4A over the last few years in just about every sport, is ranked number 2 right now in 4A East. The Lady Tigers just out of a sub-state spot right now in 18th to get a couple of wins, or a few wins over the last few weeks of the season here. And we got a whistle. And so I think Fort Scott's going to get the point. There was some confusion there as to whether or not there was a violation. Unfortunately, Fort Scott gets that serve into the net there. So Avery Stewart will come back in. Grayson Pitts will go have a quick breather. Now Fort Scott works it to the near side. Get it over to Clements. She'll get it across the net. Independence will go far side, and was it out? It was. Clements rather, to serve. And this one right back to us, as that one finds the corner and in for Fort Scott. Independence really working the corners here tonight. One just over the net, but Fort Scott able to get to it. So go far corner, and it just does find the inline. So 23-13 here in set number 1. Fort Scott needs to side out in the worst way right now. They'll work it to the front. This one's got to go over. It does. Comes back near side. Nice dig there by Farrington. Now back over, Hazel Baker. They'll work it to the near side, and that one will go in there. Allie Calishaw picks up the kill. Fort Scott back to within 9, 23-14. And nice ace from Calishaw. So 23-15 now. Nice serve, dug on the back row. Independence will work it around, and it was out. So a nice little run here by Fort Scott late in this set. Now 23-16. Made up 3 straight points here. Nice block by Fort Scott right at the net, and that'll work as a point as well. So 4 straight points for the Lady Tigers. Kalashaw serving again. That one dug a little bit to the side. Now Fort Scott able to keep it alive. They'll work it near to the front. That one does get over the net. Back to the back row, and Fort Scott tried to keep it alive, but couldn't get around it enough. So now set point for Independence. Work it near side. Nice job. That'll go off of the dig out of bounds. So Fort Scott and Kylie Comstock pick up the kill. 24-18. Another set point here for Independence, but Fort Scott, see if they can get on another roll here. Work it far side. Nice dig. Right to the net. Goes over. Scott works it near side. Get it to Stewart. Now comes back to the near side again, and will find the corner inbound. So Independence wins this first set. 25-18 is your final score. We'll take a short break and come back. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger Volleyball on Duckbait TV. Patty West and Crystal Cowan are a mother-daughter duo selling personal and commercial insurance. If you need home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, business, or commercial insurance, they've got you covered. Visit them at 3 East Wall Street in downtown Fort Scott or call 620-223-0700. Need a full mani-pedi before big weekend plans? Or maybe you want some special nail art to celebrate your favorite singer's football-playing boyfriend? Either way, Delin Abadi is ready to help. Nails by Delin is on all the socials, and you can call or text at 620-704-1315. Nails by Delin at Spoiled Brat on 3rd Street in downtown Fort Scott. So as we come out for set number 2, Fort Scott needing to win this second set to force a third. And we're underway here in set number 2. And I think they called a double contact violation on Independence, so Fort Scott gets the opening point. So back to serve the Lady Tigers. It's a high dig, and it's going to go out of bounds. Fort Scott with a second point here. They lead this second set 2-0. Ball goes far side. That one hit wide or long. So a quick 3-0 advantage here in set 2 for the Lady Tigers. Kendall Aiken back to serve again. One off the Lady Tiger block and out of bounds, so that'll be the first point for the Bulldogs here in set 2. That one is in. Fort Scott thought that was going to be a little bit long. They let it go, and it just did clip the line. So now 3-2. Fort Scott still out in front in set number 2. Trying to get the block up there. Nice dig by Fort Scott. Hazel Baker will get it near side to Stewart. She'll get it over the net. Oh, nice block by the Lady Tigers, and it's going to go out of bounds. Fort Scott got the block to it, but couldn't quite direct it down at the floor. And it goes out of bounds. 3-3 now the score here in set 2. Nice swing that time by Stewart, but it's dug by Independence. They'll work it back to the back row. Now they'll come back near side to Stewart. Fort Scott will. And Fort Scott gets it to Comstock, but it swung a little bit too long that time. So now 4-3. Fort Scott gets it back to Comstock. She'll find the back row. Independence able to recover. Now they get it near side, or far side rather. Fort Scott back over the net, but Independence back to return. Fort Scott, oh, they keep it alive. Nice job by Kylie to get that one over the net. Back over, Hazel Baker tried to block. It went just over her fingertips. Back over to Kylie, and that one's in for a kill. So Fort Scott takes the long rally. It's now 4-4. So we're tied once again, 5-all. Set number 2. Just over the net. And that one will go back over to Independence. That one blocked by the Lady Bulldogs. So now it's 7-5. Nice dig, a long one. Fought for at the net, and Fort Scott couldn't keep it alive. So now 8-5. And that one does clip the line. So run here by Lady Bulldogs. Fort Scott's going to take a timeout. So a nice start to this second frame for the Lady Tigers, but now Independence is scored 4 points in a row. What, 6 of the last 7, I believe. Long dig, goes to the side, but Fort Scott able to get it over. set the block up. They'll try to go far side, and it goes off of Fort Scott and out of bounds. So another Independence point here. Stewart will come back in. And another point for the Lady Bulldogs. Another nice run here in the middle of the frame for Independence. They did that in the first set as well. And they've got control here so far. See if Fort Scott can get back into this one a little bit. Kalashaw gets it over the net. And that'll go as a Fort Scott point. Independence couldn't quite make a nice return on it. Scott able to keep it alive. Hazelbaker gets it over the net. Now back over. That one looked like a miss hit from Independence, but it works out for a Fort Scott point. As the Lady Tigers back to within 4 here in set 2. Over to Fort Scott. They find the empty part of the court. And they'll make it 12-7. 5-point advantage here in set 2 for the Bulldogs. Fort Scott, this will be the one that needs to go over, and it does. And another nice kill for Independence as they've doubled Fort Scott up again, 14-7. And that one goes into the net. Back over to Fort Scott, trailing 14-8. Kinley Clements serving. That one will go down as a Fort Scott point. Avery Stewart got to the net and was able to keep that on Independence's side of the court. So Clements to serve again. Come near side with it, and that one's down for an Independence point. Independence has been good, at least early on here, of reading the Fort Scott defense and going where they're not. Fort Scott at times still just kind of chasing the ball around, hoping they can get to it. That one they tried to go through the block, and Fort Scott pulled the block down right at the last second. So that one goes out of bounds and back over to Fort Scott. Nice dig by the Lady Tigers. Work it back to Comstock. That one goes wide, and I think that was out of bounds, or about outside of the antenna. Anyway, excuse me, the point goes to Fort Scott. Clements to serve again. Point goes to Fort Scott, and now Independence will take a timeout. 15-12 here in set number 2. Fort Scott. And back in play. Fort Scott. That one kind of hung up on the net there. Didn't quite get all the way over. Excuse me. Fort Scott kept it alive there. That one may have been going out, but played, and Fort Scott able to rally around it. We'll come back near side. Just did get it in there. Independence did. So 17-12. Lead for Independence here in set number 2. And now 18-12. They're trying to close this one out. Job by Fort Scott to get it over the net. Now back around. Comes near side. That one will find the corner. And that one was served a little bit too long. Right at the last second. Dakota pulled her hands back. Let that one go out of bounds. So 19-13. And Kendall Aiken back to serve. Nice job by Fort. That was a long dig, and Fort Scott able to knock it down, but Independence able to keep it alive. And now swing there for Fort Scott goes a little bit long. 20-13 now. Farrington will check out. Fort Scott brings it back near side. Independence, I tell you what, their first touch has not always been great here tonight, but their second touch has been superb. And they've been able to keep things alive when it doesn't look like they're going to. That one is a little long, so Fort Scott will get the point. Looks like some pretty good news out of Baltimore. If you're a Royals fan, that one is dug a little bit too wide for Independence. And that one served into the net. Tough luck there for the Lady Tigers. 21-15 now. Independence. Back to serve. And that one is out of bounds. So back over to Fort Scott. Rayleigh Cowan to do the honors. That one over the net. And in there for Fort Scott. So 21-17 now. The Lady Tigers a late rally. See if they can keep it up here. And that'll go as an ace. Tell you what, Rayleigh, at least in the matches we've broadcast here, Rayleigh's had some pretty good luck on that service line for the Lady Tigers this season. That one just does get over the net. Great job by Kalishaw to see where that ball was going. And able to get the kill for Fort Scott. Now back to 2-point set here. Fort Scott trailing 21-19. That one finds itself inbounds. (22-19) now, 22-20. Fort Scott able to get it back over the net. Now Indy works it to the near side. Fort Scott gets it over. Nice job by the Lady Tigers to keep it alive. Great dig by Fort Scott. Goes over far side. Oh, and Rayleigh just couldn't quite get to it. Nice rally, and Independence comes away with the point, 23-20. Again, don't forget, Fort Scott will play Chanute here in just a little bit. We'll have that one for you, too, here on Duckbait TV. JV teams look like they're just about to get going in their match, Fort Scott and Chanute. Near side. Oh, and they dropped it just over into that open part of the court. And it's match point now coming up for Independence. Fort Scott's going to take their last time out. Try to stop this wave of momentum for the Lady Bulldogs here. So it appears, and my apologies if somebody doesn't want to hear the score, but the Royals have defeated the Orioles 1-0. Cole Reagan's had a great pitching performance starting for the Royals. They had 3 relievers. Lucas Ursig got the last 4 outs, I believe, for Kansas City. And then get the win 1-0. Bobby Witt had an RBI base hit in the 6th or 7th inning, I believe. And it held up for the Royals against Corbin Burns and the Orioles, and Independence picks up the win here against Fort Scott, winning the second set 25-20. Looked like a service ace there on the last one, so Fort Scott will fall in this one in 2 sets. Take a short break and come right back. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger Volleyball on Duckbait TV. If you're in need of livestock risk protection, multi-peril crop insurance, or help with your pasture or private products, Caleb Simpson has you covered. Call or text Caleb with Twin Pine Solutions at 620-215-4144. If you need residential, interior, or exterior painting done, or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Aura et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help you with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. So back here for a quick wrap-up here for match number 1. The Fort Scott Lady Tigers fall to Independence in 2 sets. They lose the first one, as you see there on your scoreboard, 25-18. Lost the second set 25-20. Definitely played pretty well there in the second set at times. Got the match, took a lead early in the second set, and then got it back to within a couple of points there late in that second set, but couldn't quite finish it off, and Independence comes away with the 2-0 match victory here in match number 1 of the evening. We will go ahead and stop our broadcast here, and then we'll reset and get ready for the second broadcast. That's why there's 2 separate broadcasts in case people out there at a later time want to watch one and maybe not the other, whatever the case may be there. So we'll go ahead and stop the broadcast here and then restart with the second match in just a little bit. So give us about 5 to 10 minutes and then refresh your device, and then we should be up and running with the second match, Fort Scott and Chanute, here in just a little bit. So thanks again for joining us on Duckbait TV. We'll take a break and come back in just a little bit with match number 2 of the evening.